Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something real: what to do when someone stops valuing you. The first step isn't about calling them out or trying to change them. It's about turning the spotlight on you with some raw, honest self-reflection. Pause for a second and ask yourself, have I been letting behaviors slide that disrespect me? Am I bending over backward to prove my worth to someone who's just not seeing it? These aren't questions to beat yourself up with, they're about taking your power back. Sometimes, being undervalued comes from patterns we've set without even realizing it. Maybe you've been too quick to say yes when you meant no, or you've brushed off neglect because you didn't want to rock the boat. Those small compromises? They stack up. Each one quietly tells others how you're okay with being treated. The truth is, people often mirror the standards we set for ourselves. If you're always giving without getting back, or chasing their approval, you're unintentionally signaling that your needs don't matter. Now, self-reflection isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. Once you spot those patterns, you can start breaking them. This is where the magic happens. By looking inward, you reclaim the ability to redefine your worth and what truly matters to you. Think of it like hitting a reset button, not for the relationship, but for you. Are you giving from a place of strength and love, or out of fear of losing them? Are you speaking up, or staying quiet to avoid conflict? This kind of honesty stings, but it's the key to breaking free from that cycle of being undervalued. Shi Heng, a Shaolin master, talks about mastering your mind to find inner peace. That starts here, with seeing your role in the dynamic clearly, without judgment. When you do, you're not just taking responsibility, you're stepping into your power. And that's where everything begins to change. Alright, let's keep it rolling. So, you've done the hard work of self-reflection and spotted those patterns that have been holding you back. Now what? It's time to set some boundaries. This isn't about throwing up walls or punishing anyone. It's about declaring, I value myself enough to protect my peace. When someone doesn't value you, it's tempting to overcompensate, right? You give more time, more energy, hoping they'll finally see your worth. But that usually backfires because it's coming from a place of seeking validation, not strength. Boundaries flip the script. They're like a neon sign saying, my time, energy, and heart are precious, and I decide who gets access. Think about where you've been stretching yourself too thin. Are you saying yes to every request, even when you're drained? Are you putting up with dismissive behavior just to keep the peace? Those are the spots where boundaries need to shine. Setting them doesn't mean you stop caring about the other person, it means you start caring about you just as much. Now, let's get real. Setting boundaries can feel weird at first, especially if you're used to putting others first. You might worry you're being selfish or pushing people away. But here's the deal, discomfort means you're growing. Start small. Try saying, I'm not free right now, or, that doesn't work for me. These aren't aggressive, they're clear and confident. Shi Heng teaches that true strength lies in discipline, sticking to what aligns with your inner truth. That's what boundaries are. Here's the cool part. Boundaries reveal who really values you. People who care will respect them, even if it takes time. Others might push back or even bail, and that's okay. Their exit isn't a loss, it's space clearing for healthier connections. Boundaries aren't just about others, they're about you telling yourself, I deserve respect. And when you live that truth, you'll feel stronger, more confident, and ready for what's next. We're diving into the next step, and this one's a game changer: emotional detachment. Now, don't get it twisted, detachment doesn't mean you stop caring or turn into some cold, distant person. It's about stepping back from the emotional roller coaster of feeling undervalued so you can find clarity and peace. When someone doesn't value you, it's easy to get caught up in the hurt, replaying every conversation or wondering what you did wrong. But here's the truth. Their inability to see your worth says way more about them than it does about you. Detachment is like stepping back from a painting. Up close, you're fixated on the smudges and flaws, but from a distance, you see the whole picture clearly. Same goes for relationships. When you stop over-investing your emotions in someone who's not reciprocating, you start seeing the dynamic for what it is. Ask yourself, am I letting their actions control my mood? Am I chasing their approval? If you're nodding, it's time to take your power back. One way to do this is through mindfulness, something Shi Heng emphasizes in his teachings. When you feel that emotional spiral kicking in, pause. Take a deep breath. Ground yourself in the moment. Remind yourself you can't control how they act, but you can control how you respond. Instead of reacting from hurt, choose to respond from self-respect. It's a small shift, but it's massive. It's about saying, I'm not letting their behavior define my peace. Detachment also means letting go of expectations. We often get hurt because we expect people to act the way we would, but they don't. Accepting that frees you from the need for their validation. You stop waiting for them to see your worth because you already know it. That's the vibe that changes everything. You'll feel lighter, stronger, and more connected to your purpose. And trust me, people notice that kind of energy. It's magnetic, and it draws the right ones closer. We're moving forward, and now it's time to double down on those boundaries, not just for others, but for you. When someone doesn't value you, it's often because they've gotten used to you always being there, no matter how they act. Boundaries change that game. They're not about being harsh or shutting people out, they're about protecting your emotional energy and setting a standard for how you deserve to be treated. Think of them as a love letter to yourself, saying, I'm worth more than this. So, what do boundaries look like in action? It's saying, I can't take that on right now, when you're stretched thin. It's calmly calling out behavior that doesn't sit right, like, hey, that's not okay with me. It's not about drama, it's about clarity. Shi Heng talks about cultivating inner discipline to stay true to your path, and boundaries are exactly that. They're your way of staying firm in your self-respect, no matter who's testing you. Here's the thing, boundaries need consistency. People might push back, especially if they're used to you having none. But don't waver. Holding the line, with confidence and kindness, teaches others what you'll accept, and what you won't. It's like saying, access to my time and energy is a privilege, not a given. And when you stick to it, something amazing happens. You start seeing who's really in your corner. The ones who value you will step up, while others might fade, and that's okay. Their exit is just clearing space for better connections. The real magic of boundaries? They're not just about others, they reshape how you see yourself. Every time you set and hold a boundary, you're reminding yourself, I deserve respect. I deserve care. That builds a confidence that radiates outward. You're not just managing relationships, you're building a life where you thrive. And that's the kind of energy that attracts the right people who see and honor your worth. Alright, let's keep the momentum going. Now that you've got boundaries in place, it's time to turn all that energy inward and invest in you. When someone doesn't value you, it's easy to get stuck obsessing over what they did or how to make them see your worth. But here's the truth, their lack of appreciation isn't your problem, it's theirs. The best response? Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not for them, but for you. This is about pouring love and effort into your own growth. Think about it, when was the last time you prioritized yourself without guilt? Now's the moment to reconnect with what lights you up. Maybe it's picking up that hobby you've shelved, signing up for a course you've been eyeing, or chasing a goal you've been too scared to start. Shi Heng often says true strength comes from aligning with your purpose. Find what sets your soul on fire and go after it. This isn't about perfection, it's about showing up for yourself unapologetically. Investing in yourself sends a powerful message, I am worth my own time and effort. And here's the cool part, when you focus on your passions and growth, your energy shifts. You start radiating confidence, purpose, and joy. People notice that. Not because you're trying to impress them, but because you're living authentically. You're not chasing validation anymore, you're creating it from within. That's magnetic. This focus also heals. Instead of dwelling on someone's rejection, you're building moments that remind you of your worth. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. And yeah, the person who didn't value you might see that glow up and realize what they missed. But by then, you're not waiting for their approval. You're too busy living a life that feels true to you. You'll start seeing you deserve people who show up for you the way you show up for yourself. That's the power of making you your biggest project. We're getting deeper now, and this step is all about letting your actions speak louder than words. When someone doesn't value you, the urge to explain yourself or prove your worth can be strong. But here's the deal, you don't need to convince anyone of your value. Instead, show it through how you live. Stop chasing their approval and start building a life that screams, "I know who I am." Your choices, your growth, your vibe, that's what does the talking. Imagine this, instead of arguing about your worth, you're out there crushing it, chasing a dream, leveling up your skills, or just living with joy. Maybe you're surrounding yourself with people who hype you up or saying yes to opportunities that excite you. Shi Heng teaches that true power comes from aligning your actions with your inner truth. That's what this is about, showing up for yourself in ways you've always wanted others to show up for you. This isn't about drama or proving a point. It's about quiet, confident moves. You set boundaries that protect your peace. You pursue goals that light you up. You carry yourself with purpose. And trust me, people notice. Not because you're shouting about it, but because your energy shifts. The person who undervalued you might do a double take, wondering how they missed this version of you. But by now, you're not living for their reaction, you're living for you. The beauty here is the freedom. You're not waiting for their validation anymore. You're proving your worth to yourself every single day. That's what makes this magnetic. You become undeniable, not because you're trying to be, but because you're embracing who you are. And if they come around? Cool, but it's not your goal. Your goal is to keep growing, keep shining, and keep building a life that reflects your true value. That's the loudest statement you can make, without saying a word. We're hitting a big one, creating your own affirmation and ditching the need for anyone else's validation. When someone doesn't value you, it's tempting to wait for them to see your worth, to hope for that moment when they finally get it. But here's the truth, you don't need their approval to know you're enough. The power to affirm your value is already in you, and that's a game changer. Stop looking for someone else to tell you you're worthy. Whether it's a friend, a partner, or even a random comment online, tying your worth to their words is like giving them the keys to your confidence. Instead, start celebrating you. Look at your journey, the challenges you've crushed, the small wins you've racked up. Every step you've taken is proof you're enough, just as you are. Shi Heng talks about finding inner stillness to know your true self. That's what this is, connecting with your strengths, your purpose, and owning it unapologetically. This isn't about being arrogant, it's about self-respect. You're the one who decides your value, not them. Start speaking kindly to yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. When you affirm your own worth, something shifts. You stop second-guessing yourself. You walk taller, speak clearer, and carry a quiet confidence that people notice. And the best part? You start attracting people who see you for you, not what they can get from you. They're drawn to that real, unshakable energy. When you stop chasing validation, you free yourself. You're not waiting for someone to catch up to your worth anymore. You're living it, every day. And that's the ultimate power move, knowing you're enough, no permission needed. So, tell yourself today, I'm worthy. I'm enough. Say it until you feel it in your bones. Because when you do, no one's opinion can shake you. We're back, and this time we're talking about pouring all your energy into your own growth and goals. When someone doesn't value you, it's easy to get stuck dwelling on their actions or trying to win them over. But the best response? Flip that energy inward and make you your biggest project. This isn't about proving anything to them, it's about becoming the best version of yourself, for yourself. Think about it, when was the last time you chased something that truly lit you up? Maybe it's a career goal, a new skill, or just getting healthier, physically or emotionally. Whatever it is, now's the time to go all in. Shi Heng says true strength comes from aligning your actions with your purpose. So, reconnect with what makes you feel alive. Sign up for that course, hit the gym, or start that side hustle you've been dreaming about. These steps aren't just about achievements, they're about reminding yourself that you're worth the effort. Focusing on your growth does something powerful. It pulls you out of the pain of being undervalued and channels it into something constructive. Instead of replaying their rejection, you're creating moments that scream, "I'm capable, and I'm enough." And here's the magic, as you grow, your confidence grows too. You start seeing opportunities you missed when you were caught up in seeking validation. People notice that shift, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you're radiating purpose. This focus isn't just about healing, it's about thriving. You're not just surviving someone's lack of appreciation, you're building a life that reflects your true worth. And yeah, the person who didn't value you might see your glow up and regret it. But by then, you're not looking back. You're too busy creating a future that's bigger than their opinion. So, make yourself the priority. Invest in your goals, your passions, your peace. Because when you do, you don't just rebuild, you rise. We're wrapping this up with the ultimate step, embracing emotional freedom. When someone doesn't value you, it's easy to hold on tight, hoping they'll change or finally see your worth. But real freedom comes when you let go, not just of them, but of the need for their approval. This isn't about cutting people off or holding grudges. It's about living so true to your own value that you attract the right connections and let the wrong ones fall away naturally. Shi Heng talks about finding peace by releasing what you can't control, and that's the vibe here. Letting go means you stop tying your worth to how someone treats you. You wish them well, but you don't need them to validate you. You're not chasing apologies or explanations anymore, you're choosing your peace instead. It's like dropping a heavy backpack you've been carrying. Suddenly, you feel lighter, freer, and ready to move forward with purpose. This kind of freedom is magnetic. When you live aligned with your true self, your values, your boundaries, your goals, you radiate a quiet strength. People who respect and honor you are drawn to that energy. The ones who don't? They'll fade out, and that's not a loss, it's a gift. Their departure makes space for relationships that lift you up, ones where you're valued for being you, not for what you do for others. Emotional freedom isn't just about others, it's about your relationship with yourself. It's trusting that what's meant for you will find you, and what isn't will leave. You stop needing to prove anything because you know your worth. That's the shift that changes everything. You'll notice you're not triggered by the same old stuff anymore. You're not waiting for someone to catch up to your value. You're living it, fully and unapologetically. And in that freedom, you build a life surrounded by people who see you, respect you, and add to your joy. That's the real win. Alright, everyone, we've been on quite a journey today, and I hope you're feeling as fired up as I am. Let's wrap this up with a big truth: your worth isn't defined by how others see you, it's defined by how you see yourself. When someone doesn't value you, it's not your job to change their mind. Your job is to show up for you, to reflect, to set boundaries, to grow, and to live so authentically that your energy speaks for itself. This isn't about proving anything to anyone else, it's about proving to yourself that you're enough, just as you are. Think about it, every step we've talked about, self-reflection, emotional detachment, investing in your goals, and embracing freedom, is building a life where you're the architect of your own happiness. Shi Heng says true power comes from mastering your mind and living in alignment with your purpose. That's what you're doing here. You're letting go of the need for validation and stepping into a version of yourself that's confident, purposeful, and magnetic. And trust me, when you live like that, the right people, the ones who see your worth and celebrate it, will show up naturally. So, here's my challenge to you: start small today. Say no to something that doesn't serve you. Take one step toward a goal that lights you up. Affirm your own value, even if it's just a quiet moment where you tell yourself, "I'm worthy." These little moves add up, and before you know it, you're living a life that feels true to you. The people who didn't value you? They'll either step up or step out, and either way, you're good, because you've got you. Thank you for hanging out with me today. If this hit home, drop a comment, share it with someone who needs it, and hit that like button. It means the world. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so we can keep this vibe going. You're worth it, and I'll see you in the next one.